Just coming off South Kensington Station. Now going towards the Evolution Garden on my way to the Natural History Museum. So beautiful. The rocks, absolutely new. This wasn't like that. It's changed up. There's some animals. Such a cool entrance to the Natural History Museum. Definitely fascinated. And now we see this gold-plated Diplodocus, I've been reliably told. Definitely one of the more beautiful parts of London. Got the French flag along with Europe. That's probably the French consulate. Around these areas are most of the museums, the Royal Albert Hall, the Victorian and Albert Museum is right on the other side. I believe the Science Museum is probably next. Right opposite, right behind, sorry, the Natural History Museum. It's a beautiful part of London. So this is the trip of the Evolution Garden done. And now on to the main event, the Nature Discovery Garden and the central entrance for the Natural History Museum. It's a cloakroom for those of you who are coming with luggages. Luckily we've only got backpacks today. But we went to the Louvre in France with suitcases, so good to know. Look at the architecture, beautiful. The detail. Last time I came to the Natural History Museum would have been before COVID, so I'd say at least 5 years ago, and it's definitely got a different feel, brilliant feel to it, but a different feel. All right, what's this?
The skeleton of a whale.
Oh, okay, the skeleton of a whale.
I believe it's a humpback.
Yes, certainly looks like it.
They never used to have this actually.
And now you've got to screen your bag, so we'll be doing this. That's a skeleton of a giraffe.
And this taxidermy thing.
Okay. I guess we'll probably have to pause this for now until we resume once we've done the check-in. So while it's free entry, they've got donation booths, donation banks, which highly encouraged, whether it's cash or by card. That's the shop. That's for later. And let's look. What do we have here?
We have the American mastodon,
American mastodon.
one of the relatives of the woolly mammoth.
Oh. I should probably redo the writing a little bit, but it does say 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. Great.
Found in Missouri, USA.
Yep. The blue whale? Oh, why would they have... I think this is what is on top over there. That's the blue whale, which was luckily rescued from the brink of extinction, believe it or not, in the 1960s. All right, well, I'm glad to hear the population estimates. We're up to 25,000 at the beginning of the 21st century.
Can you even see like how the architect It
Certainly.
doesn't specify though, but I believe this is a Myosaur.
Myosaur. It says this is the
Iguanodon.
Yes. Iguanodon.
Otherwise known as the Myosaur. It was before called the Myosaur, but I believe now the Myosaur is a thing. The Iguanodon is now the species recognized in history books.
Okay. Okay. Probably not the biggest dinosaur you'll come across.
One of probably the medium-sized dinosaurs.
Right.
There would be much smaller, but there would also be much bigger.
Impressive nonetheless. Sorry. What do we have here? Fossil trees. The windows into the past show a glimpse of what Earth was like millions of years ago. Okay.
Alright, so as we go over here, we will see a marlin.
A marlin, yes, I can tell that from
Captured in still life.
far. It's a marlin and sailfish. Well, blue marlin is what they catch in big fish.
As you can see, this is
Hunting.
almost as good as this is almost as big as the iguanodon. As I said, one of the medium-sized ones.
Blue marlin. Thank you very much. We'll try to read it. So marlin and sailfish are the fastest swimming fish in the sea. Formidable open ocean predators.
The fun fact about these is that when they mate, to find mates, they use their sword on the tip of their nose.
Now, I have certainly seen one of these.
It is a piece
Recently.
of coral from
Yes.
the reef. I believe they have some in Mauritius, if I'm not mistaken.
100%. We've very recently been to one, and I've got pictures standing by and touching it. Let's read.
They are biodiversity hotspots, including many sea creatures.
Certainly. Did you want to take a leaflet pamphlet over there, or?
Now I know this place like the back of my hand.
Oh, brilliant.
And now we may move on to the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. The Hinds Hall campaign. So it's opened by the Duchess of Cambridge in 2017. Dinosaurs.
One of the most well-known types of extinct animals. Oh, look here! This is an entirely new section. Entirely new, guys. Never been built it. They must have only set this about a week ago. Because I was about a month ago and never saw it. Completely new section. Evolution from the natural world. And as you can see over there, there's also a marlin. Skeleton.
Yes, the skeleton of a marlin. Fixing our broken planet. Beautiful. This is definitely a new section.
Very mindful to new.
What have we got here?
Here we have the American bison, which was on the verge of extinction until we brought them back in abundance around the 1960s.
Brilliant. How did we bring them back into abundance?
By domesticating them into different types of zoos and facilities, we could get them to breed to make, obviously, more, and thus be abundant.
Okay. We now have here coal-free future. Okay.
Don't forget, guys, if you want to pause to read any of this, feel free to do so.
This is copper. Okay, and next.
And those buildings, they look so pretty from London. What are we looking at here? Is that a wet wipe?
A koala. Toxic threat in a warming Antarctica.
And may I also add that how we saw the mammoth's relative, they are trying to bring back the mammoth to compact the ice in Antarctica and trying to decrease global warming. Now as we move over to here, you can see the identifying of mosquitoes. Mosquito bombs, these such as malaria. 500 million people become infected each year. As we can see there are some.
Identifying mosquitoes.
And as I said, 500 million people become infected by a deadly disease called malaria through mosquitoes each year.
Yeah. We've actually got, I know people who've passed away due to dengue or deng, however they call it, but it's very rife in the Indian Ocean, in places like Mauritius, India, so definitely know people.
Down here, there are parasitic worms, otherwise known as parasite worms, things like tapeworm and other sort of things which can enter the human body, such as these.
Okay. On to more beautiful creatures. Enter butterflies.
And I believe that these are all pollinators. Here we have bats, which are pollinators, another bat, and a lot of butterflies and moths.
Whose tusk is that?
I wonder.
An elephant tusk?
Yes.
Ivory?
Now this is part of the illegal trade in a lot of parts of Africa where elephant tusks are sold on the black market.
Okay. Very, very sad.
Yes.
Very, very sad. Okay, what do we have here? Frog.
Oh yes, the original pregnancy test. Wonder how that works.
Yeah, okay, let's read a little bit on that. Okay. A fake horn, but this is a rhinoceros.
Yes, but of course with a fake horn, as no animals were harmed in making this.
Brilliant, thank you. Where next?
Now over here we have another scene. Sit down and watch.
It could be in bird feeders out, maybe even just talk to others about nature, change attitude.
Brilliant.
Like the internet.
Over here.
Minerals and
Understanding the impact of mining the deep sea.
okay. Take us on to the next section.
Rubbish nests, birds, and plastic
Plastic
in the
in.
Thames, which we know is quite abundant.
Yeah, and this would apply to all the other rivers, I'm sure, in the world.
But just not to as the same degree, most likely.
Right. Some domesticated animals. Dogs. What do we have here?
To one of the last ones, eating to extinction. Throughout 10,000 years of breeding, humans have transformed the powerful aurochs into the tame domestic cow. Formed for its meat, milk, aurochs left in the wild were driven to extinction by hunting and loss of habitat. Now, as you can see, that was an old auroch skull compared to how that auroch skull is now.
Is today. Look at
Really
the
a
difference.
shocking sight,
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
And now we come back to the marlin, and this is the end of this brand new exhibit.
Yeah. Certainly.
Quite an amazing addition.
Certainly is.
To the Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
Always nice having something fresh. And I just need to say it again. Look at the architecture. Look at the paned windows. So
That's
beautiful, really. Nice.
Okay.
And now we go into either the mammals or the dinosaurs. What should we do?
Up to you. If we're close to the mammals, just pop in there.
Yeah? Sure. Then we'll
We'll
right
try.
back out into the dinosaurs.
That's right. We'll start.
What makes a mammal a mammal? Of course, as most of us know, has to be warm-blooded, live birth, and provide those babies.
Okay. We're looking at the dissection of a horse.
Now, as we come over here to marsupials, and right here,
Mammals with pouches.
we have the thylacine, which is my favourite prehistoric animal, otherwise known as the Tasmanian tiger.
Tasman. Yeah. Probably the most famous mammal with a pouch is the kangaroo.
Yes, and can pack quite a punch.
Certainly.
Then here we have some extinct marsupials,
Okay.
a relative of the saber-toothed tiger.
Right. And it says they were most present in South America. Joey,
Joey is the
baby kangaroo.
kangaroo, and it's also the baby marsupial.
Okay.
Any baby marsupial will be called a Joey.
An extinct giant. So this is an extinct marsupial herbivore.
And over here, we have what it would have looked like, only in a much smaller scale.
That's right.
We have
Gnawing.
animals, such as the capybara, and a lot of other types of rodents. And here we
Scaly.
have pangolins. Now, pangolins are actually quite endangered, and there are only a few left hunted for their precious scales.
Okay.
Dogs, if you were to turn around the big cat.
Oh,
Of course, we have a white
the
tiger,
big versions of our Simba.
lions, jaguars, cheetahs, tigers.
The meat eaters.
Very menacing indeed.
Yeah. Very famous.
Now we go over to here.
Distant
Distant relatives.
relatives.
We have, of course, the massive bears. And personally, one of my favourite animals, the sloth bear. Right over here, not a very well-known type of bear. But And of course, we have one of the most dangerous animals in the world, the polar bear.
Currently the world's largest carnivore.
And then right over here, last bit, you see we have a smilodon. A lot of people call it a saber-toothed tiger, but its scientific name, proven, is a smilodon.
Smilodon.
And here we have some
Mongoose.
which are, fun fact, actually immune to cobra venom.
Yeah. Mongoose, and then you've got a weasel.
And then we also
Similar
have
family.
We also have a civet. And a
Civet.
lot of and the wolverine. And now here we move on to the dinosaurs. And of course, to our viewers of photosensitivity warning, some of the exhibits in this gallery have flash photography and a lot of flashing light. Now, without further ado,
Dinosaurs were reptiles.
dinosaurs were reptiles, walked on straight legs, and were also very prehistoric indeed. Now here we have some artwork of a group of Deinonychus tearing apart an iguanodon. What a sight.
We've
As
just
you
seen
can
an
see-
iguanodon.
Yes, and then here we have a nice lagoon scene of the Coryphosaurus and a lot of other herbivorous dinosaurs. And now up here we have possibly the clash of the titans, Tyrannosaurus Rex and Triceratops.
If you guys didn't know by the names, the Triceratops is the one on the right. And
The Tyrannosaurus Rex is the one on the left.
that's right, also known for short as the T-Rex. Possibly the most common of dinosaurs.
Well, not the most common, most well known.
Well, most well
Yes,
known. Yes, most well known, correct.
And now here we come on to something a little bit scarier. Not just the skull of a T-Rex, but perhaps a real T-Rex.
Oh my goodness. Could you tell us why the T-Rex is the most well-known dinosaur?
Well, of course, it's a theropod dinosaur, one of the most well-known types of dinosaurs. And also, I mean, just look at its appearance. What's not to love about it? A prominent jaw, massive teeth, big bulgy legs, a massive frame, and as you can see, it's just killed a dinosaur on the floor. And well known in a lot of movies and TV shows, the iconic roar. Truly a sight to behold.
Very
And I'm not
believable.
mentioning this for the third time, but look at the rules. Okay, here we have family groups and loners. And now up there you can see a Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus.
A 36-plated Stegosaurus with massive tails.
What do we have here? Nests.
Now here, as I said, the iguanodon would have had these nests because iguanodon stood for good mother. And it would look after all of its babies in abundance and care for them each individually.
What do we have here?
Here, we have most likely a replica of a Tyrannosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps even an Allosaurus by the bluish coloration. And here we have one heck of a skull. The Pachycephalosaurus, try saying that 5 times fast. And it had a massive cranium to butt heads with each other and to use for defense, running at top speeds of, I believe, 30 miles per hour. 19 centimeters thick.
Nonsense.
Not so just full. And the Euplocephalus.
These are certainly not
Claws.
for the
This-
faint-hearted. Iguanodon.
This is what iguanodons would have had on their only thumbs. One of the smallest appendages. We've been seeing a lot of iguanodon today.
Certainly.
Oh, now here we have the Parasaurolophus and the Triceratops skulls. And both of an adult specimen, although you can see that the Triceratops is missing its front to, or back to horns.
So this is the skull of an adult Centrosaurus.
Closely related to Triceratops.
Yes.
Almost the same. 本当だ。ありがとう。
We're back to the old iguanodon.
Yes.
I think quite a bit of research has been done on iguanodon. So,
Yep, as you can see over there, it's the iguanodon hand.
so the iguanodon exploited the improved stance by being able to operate on 2 or 4 legs. As we remember with the T-Rex, the 2 hands, should
Yeah,
we say, are
they
so.
definitely could not support its weight.
That's right.
That's why it was known as a theropod. It could only stand on its 2 legs. But the iguanodon can stand on both, giving it maximum mobility. Oh, let's look at more iguanodons. We move on to the iguanodon's hand. Now, as you can see, that thumb, that piercing thumb, absolutely massive. Imagine trying to have an arm wrestle against him.
Yeah. It would be like John Brezink with that thumb.
Oh, now Hunter's eyes.
Trudon and the Oviraptor. I think now we're starting to get into families of dinosaurs which look a little bit similar to ostriches.
Yes. Actually, did you know that the Oviraptor, do you know what that means?
No?
It means egg thief. It would steal eggs from much larger dinosaurs to feast upon. As you can see in that image, it's eating an egg in its hand. But also, not surprisingly, it was a very easy target.
Of course.
Because if it's stealing your eggs, you've got to go.
Bad karma.
But then again, what are we going to do? Survive and look at this.
What are we looking at here?
I believe this is an Albertosaurus, possibly a Giganotosaurus. But I believe it's an Albertosaurus. And look at the size of him. Now here we have the left thigh bone of an Apatosaurus, the Apatosaurus. One of the smaller sauropods in the group, but still quite big. Closely related to the Brachiosaurus. And had a long neck, really high. You could see over the clouds.
Okay.
And over here, finally, we get to see the actual full iguanodon specimen. Over there.
This is the iguanodon.
Finally, we knew so much about this creature, and now we finally get to see it. As you can see, it says there, iguanodon. Discovered by chance in a Belgian coal mine in 1878.
Edmontosaurus.
And as you can see, it's still engraved in stone. I believe they've done this because the skeleton's too fragile and cannot be taken out.
So this is still half buried in sandstone.
And kept probably from the original dig site.
Okay. The tail is the only part that is missing. They believe it's probably been eaten by another predator.
Which probably led to its demise.
This is the front of an iguanodon. This thing was high.
Massive, yeah.
Wow.
And as you can see, standing on its hind legs,
But the
almost
arms-
as tall as some theropods.
Right. I mean, but with huge hands.
It almost has a person-type structure.
What do we have here?
Here we have some velociraptors.
Velociraptors.
Very attentive to details. Velociraptors most likely had feathers and had that signature toe claw.
Right. It says here, no.
Oh, Deinonychus.
Yes. Well, it is a close
Yeah,
relative, very close
Velociraptor.
Velociraptor, yeah.
Primarily cat predators. Then velociraptors staying in groups of, I believe, like 2 to 3, but these guys would hunt much larger packs.
So they could fly?
They could not fly.
They could not fly.
Dinosaurs' feathers were also used for warmth and display, not flight.
Okay.
Although
What do we have
some
here?
Here we have the forearm of, a Deinonychus. That's how big the Deinonychus is. Oh, Deinonychus. Not a Deinonychus, a Deinonychus.
Yeah. Terrible hand.
Yes. As you can see, it has the same first bit with men terrible, and then hand. Oh, and now here we have the Coelophysis, one of my favourite dinosaurs, of course, still insewn, too valuable to take out.
Small?
Yes, very small, and it was also a fish hunter. It would primarily have fish. It was slender meat hunter, had very sharp and cunning claws, and with a crocodile type
We've got the Triceratops here.
But the iguanodon we saw before must have not been the largest iguanodon. As you can see, that one over there, they varied in size.
So what does it say about the Triceratops? It says that it was...
One of the last dinosaurs to evolve and was the most abundant plant eater of its time. Its sharp beak cropped plants which were then chewed by scissor-like cheek teeth.
Really?
As you can see the comparison to a person on the side there.
Yep.
And its name means three-horned face.
What do we have here? We've got the Scolosaurus.
Closely related to the Euplocephalus and the Ankylosaurus, but a smaller version, about roughly the size of an average person. Massive protection on its back, just like its relatives, the Anky and the Euplo. And
So
down
you've got a
here,
Tyrannosaurus.
Tyrannosaurus, meaning tyrant lizards, jawbone, one of the most well-known dinosaurs in the history of nature. And now here we have another of the small end sauropods,
Camarasaurus.
and it does not show it here because they would have frills on the back of their neck, skin flaps on the back of their neck. They would stand upright with cartilage, I believe.
What do we have here? The Baryonyx.
Quite like the Coelophysis, but it is a lot bigger, primarily feasted on fish as well.
Look what we have here. We've got a Psittacosaurus, and it's moving.
Making small breaths. Oh, just Okay, now, right here, can you believe it? How much would you guess this is? It is £15. Oh my goodness. Crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
That for £15.
Crazy.
Now here they have a lot of things to wear. Of course, a lot of fashion choices. And a lot of nice things in here. We have some dinosaur toys. Here we also have some dinosaur toys over here. A lot of nice dinosaur toys. And a lot of plushies. A lot of plushies they have. Nice and squishy. Yeah, they feel quite nice as well, actually.
Definitely, they definitely do.
Yeah. Oh, they also have
Books. Images of nature.
but it will lead us to a lot of places. So first we're going to go to the Darwin Centre. Here we have, of course, the cafe, which is now closed, and the Darwin Centre right somewhere down here. Oh, actually, there's the Discovery Garden downstairs.
Will they allow us downstairs at the moment? We are coming towards the end of the day.
Oh, they think I think about outside. Oh well, that was lovely. So, images of nature then? Or not? Wow, can you believe that somebody drew that? That was printed up. So much cool. You can see an encumbrance skull made out of some wood. Oh, and then oh, we have dodos.
Ah, the dodo.
Dodo. Raffles Cultures, Julian Pender Hume. And as you can see, there's more dodos. Oh, and here we have a skull of a dodo. Can you believe how tiny their head was?
For such a big bird.
And here we have the same artist. The same artist, the same picture, but as you can see, they have similarities. You know, one more vibrant and colourful, and the other one more sleek and old.
Were these ducks?
Yeah, these ducks. I feel like this is representing how a dodo would look in our world today, and how it would have looked back in Mauritius over hundreds of years ago.
No other bird looks quite like the dodo. Bulky body, stout legs, huge head and small wings. Give this icon of extinction an almost comical air.
But the image is based on very little physical evidence. Only a few fragments of dodos survive. A skeleton here, a foot, and a head there. And head there. Oh, they were talking about that head. Until now, scientists have relied on paintings, illustrations said to have been drawn from live birds.
Wow. And now we're going to the big mammals. Look at this blue whale.
This is the skeleton in the front, and as you can see, there's some dolphin-type species up, and hippopotamus and elephants. So much to unpack here, guys. Now let's start our way. Now here we have the muskox. sheep, and of course the reindeer. Perhaps his name is Rudolph.
Back right whale. Okay.
Right, upstairs you will venture into the deep cold ocean as you learn about crustaceans.
Okay, let's go.
Now up here is one of my favourite. Oh my goodness. I mean, look at it from here. And as well, up here houses one of my favourite almost extinct animals. On the brink of extinction, but wow. Just look at the whales here. From this view it almost looks like they're flying up above.
That's huge.
Yes. Imagine seeing that in the ocean. That right there is the largest mammal in the entire world. And now, some whales used to be like this. They used to look almost like canines. Then they descended into the water and then followed on into a continuous cycle, becoming whales. A group of mammals that lived on land called mesozoans. Breathing out of the back of our heads.
Does a whale have legs?
Although whales do not have any legs, just look at this crustacean embryo. There are tiny limb buds similar to those on embryos of land-living mammals, such as ourselves. By the time the whale is born, the front limbs buds have developed into large figures, but there is hardly any trace of their rear limbs. And look at this. Okay. Here.
Dolphin. Spinner dolphin. Dappled colours.
Oh, and if you turn around, you see the animal I was talking about, the porpoise. There are nearly 10 of them left in the wild, on the verge of extinction, almost about to die. People still don't know how many are left. There could be 100, there could be none. I mean, again, just look how high up they are. Whale remains, of course.
Whale sounds. This is the Ganges River dolphin.
Which I believe is extinct, if I'm not mistaken. Even
Blind dolphins.
yeah. Well, I believe they are on the verge of extinction. But there is the pink Ganges River dolphin, which is sadly extinct. But some people still believe it to be out there. Now here we have the sperm whale with their iconic massive head.
No, sí, olvídate.
And that concludes our trip around dolphin and whale.
Bye-bye. Now we look at elephants. This one is the African savanna elephant. And I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it from the one screen, but there's a huge, well, there's a sizable difference between that and that.
The African elephant also, if you look at its ears, it's quite a bit larger than the Asian
That's
elephant,
right.
and also has much larger tusks.
Yes. I don't even see the tusks in the
No.
Asian elephants.
And also, if you look at their trunk, you can see that with the African elephant, there are two little, almost finger-like utensils. But over here, on the Asian elephant, they only appear to have one. Quite a noticeable difference. Well, not a quite noticeable difference upon a first glance, but you will be able to see it if you look very closely. And now we move on to the hippos. And just like the elephants, regular hippos are much bigger than pygmy hippos. here you can see the common hippo compared to the pygmy hippo in terms of jaw shape. As you can see, much more pronounced.
It surprises me looking at hippos being in the water because they pretty much submerge themselves, and every time I look at that I'm always
And they
very,
almost
very
walk underwater.
they do walk underwater, yes.
Yeah.
Those of you who need to
They're also quite dangerous, surprisingly. They're such slow moving animals. They can run quite fast on land. And
we now move out of the animal section and we're going into the central cafe.
yes, where they have amphibians and they also have reptiles and some crustaceans. But first we're going to take a seat.
This is the mat. We're pausing for a quick break. Snacks. Break over and we're into the reptiles, amphibians, fishes. So reptiles, I guess. Tortoise, reptiles. This is the famous Komodo dragon, island giant. Croc. And this one is the American alligator. You can quite easily see the difference. We pop into the mollusks. Cnidarians, bryozoans, echinoderms. This is how big some of those mollusks are. It's huge. Back out for the fish. Fishes are the most successful group of vertebrae. This is the biggest fish in the sea, which is the whale shark, reaching over 12 meters long. And this is the lungfish. Back out to the alligators and the crocodile. Let's check out the big man himself, Mr. Charles Darwin.
Somebody a lot of people look up to, including myself.
Now we check out the Cadogan Gallery treasures.
After you guys.
Mysteries of the Deep.
Nice and quiet. Wow.
Richard Owen, Sir Richard Owen.
Oh,
The first bird.
the first bird.
What's that? Should we click on it?
Sure. Or do you swipe? First bird, Archaeopteryx. Say Archaeopteryx is the earliest known bird and one of the first ever found. It is the most valuable fossil in the museum's collection.
Wow. Looks like a vulture to me.
This one almost looks like a dodo. Oh, I see. This was one of the first birds. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's even cracked, but still worth quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, we have Trouble in Paradise.
Which is a dodo. Let's tap into it.
Oh yes. Of course, Mauritius. What is this? Illustrated by John Tennell. Trouble in Paradise. This bird was one of the first widely recognized cases of human-caused extinction. Its fame was secured by Lewis Carroll in his book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Huh, never knew it was part of that.
Mm-hmm. The penguin?
It's one of the relatives of penguin, actually.
Oh.
Here we have a Barbary lion skull, barbaric royal mascot.
It says please touch here, so we will touch it.
Feels quite nice. Ooh, quite smooth as well.
It's very much like porcelain, isn't it?
Yes. Although this we're definitely not allowed to touch.
Broken dream.
Oops, sorry.
Penguin egg. Please touch.
Oh, it's a nautilus shell. So there will be tentacle limbs sprouting out of this. The UK's first meteorite right here. Walled cottage meteorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a beautiful illustration we have here. Now we have small bird, big idea. These were finches, which Charles Darwin studies.
Mm-hmm.
Flights of immigration.
Looks like an octopus.
Ooh.
We're now hearing the tannoy for us to rush
And
out of here. Outside?
oh yeah.
Okay, as you can see.
We don't want to get in trouble.
So, we'll be one of the last humans to leave the National History Museum today.
On this day, 8th of May, 2025. Last people.
Alright, well with that comes the end of our tour of the National History Museum. Bright and sunny, the month of May in the United Kingdom.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Thank you and ciao ciao.